Everyone, welcome to another edition of CEO Wisdom Podcast, Longevity Edition. Today we have with us Yaacov Ozer. He is CEO and co-founder at healthylongevity.guide. If you want to go check out the website. We're going to talk about longevity. We're going to talk about Yaacov slash Jacob in the US, his background in sales, but also starting a longevity company. So, Yaacov, can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about yourself and Healthy Longevity Guide?
Sure. Inviting me, Charles. So I've been dealing with technology and sales for the last almost 20 years. And during those years, I was exposed to many of the challenges that healthcare system is going through. I was exposed to many of the challenges people are facing on their personal level when they're getting older. And as all we know, our population, at least the Western world, is getting older. And all of us, we are facing from the governments to the regular people who understand that we need to do something about this aging. And I've said I have an opportunity to do something to combine the digital assets and the digital knowledge I have to combine my sales and leadership skills together with other great minds in the longevity space. And we decided to start Health Longevity Guide, a platform that comes to empower health and wellness professionals to start providing longevity advisory services to the general public.
Interesting. And what do you guys do, generally speaking? Because at first I thought that the platform was targeted directly to the consumers, but it's not. It's targeted toward physicians, it seems. So how much should they pay per month? And what exactly do you provide them so that they can think more of longevity when treating clients?
Sure. So it is important to understand that the real scientific outbreaks and discoveries in the space of healthy longevity, in the space of the aging and the aging reversal processes, were made in the last 5-7 years, not earlier. And therefore, this common knowledge, not common, and therefore this knowledge, this science and understanding did not make it through to typical curriculum of a medical school yet. But there is already a demand from the people that are willing to extend their health span. There is already a demand from the people that are willing to understand this blue ocean of information on different longevity-related topics. And therefore, we've decided to help those physicians to first educate themselves and to understand what is available on the market today, what is scientifically vetted, what is evidence-based available to them as well. And we've started aggregating, curating, and structuring a lot of different scientific and medical content from different science labs, research papers, and so on. And we started organizing it in some sort of clinical layer information available to those healthcare and wellness professionals. So as a start, as a foundation, the educational part of Health Longevity Guide, it is something that you as a health or wellness professional is able to come up, to sign up, We have a free tier and then we have a paid tier, and the paid tier, it's really not a big price. It's $299 per year per health professionals. There are different pricing for organizations. And you can start exploring the already available materials, and you have a promise from us. Everything that we have on Healthy Longevity Guide is always up to date. We do change the articles if there is some new scientific evidence coming up, which is a peer-reviewed. We do add new articles every week and new pieces of content every week, and everything comes to help you as a health or wellness professional to orient, to navigate the health and longevity advisory space, and to start speaking with your healthy customers or with your customers that or clients that have chronic conditions about how to add health to their lives.
Interesting. So curious as per why you got like straight up in longevity as a sales guy. So what was the scenario here? Why did you decided that, oh, my next company is going to be a longevity, because myself have been thinking about starting my longevity company for quite a while. I want to focus on some areas. I did have my nootropic company that made one of the best supplement Canada for the brain. And I'm still like not so sure when it comes to launching a longevity company, because I'm like, yeah, people do not pay that much for that. Rich people do, obviously, but like for hyper personalized treatments. So why did you decided to straight up launch into this and not like a sales consultancy business, for example?
You actually touched on all those important points, Charles. Rich people today have much more possibilities to get a much more personalized medicine, and they
Mhm.
have the possibilities to live or to stay healthy longer, right? Which is not an ideal situation if we want to speak about the general population. And there, but there are already available diagnostics, supplementations, longevity approaches, care plans, and treatments that could be applicable for a general public. And it could be a very personal angle of myself. I've got married relatively late and I have kids that are not that big so far. And I do want to have a quality time with my grandkids, with my
Mm.
grandchildren. In order to do so, I have to stay myself as healthy as longer as possible. And I want my practitioner, I want the people that help me to navigate in my healthcare journey to be able to understand what kind of person am I from the physiological perspective, of course, right? And to be able to guide me and to help me to in my longevity journey. Let me
Mm.
give you maybe some funny fact. I've been recently visiting my physician, and since I'm generally healthy person, I went for an annual checkup, and we didn't have any specific topic to discuss beside the results of my blood tests that were good. So we had a conversation about cars, as she wants to buy a new car. And Charles, I don't know much about cars, but I was engaged in that conversation because I think that inside her, she felt a little bit uncomfortable letting me go after two first minutes of the visit. And this is wrong. And this is exactly what we want to do at Healthy Longevity Guide. And I firmly believe that your physician, your health coach, your dietitian should be able to have a conversation about your future together with you based on knowledge, based on science, and based on some precision or personalized results, and not only to provide you the care when you are looking for that care. We are not, think about it, in today's healthcare system, people are actually not proceeding some success or not proceeding some very measurable or active goals. They are coming mostly to healthcare provider to avoid failure, to avoid deterioration in health conditions, to fix something that happened to them as a result of something else. But we can reverse it. And we do need this professional layer of people that are working with the general population to be educated.
100%. My question is, let's say that the billionaire, like what percentage can he outsource and what percentage does he need to know? Because your thesis for starting the longevity company is the same as mine, is that if I invest my time in there and if I learn, I will have the knowledge. And if I have the knowledge, and I will take better care of myself and I will live longer, which is the main objective, and happier, obviously. So let's say the billionaire, the Peter Thiel of this world, what percentage do they outsource and what percentage do they need to know? Can they like just pay someone and be like, okay, yeah, you do your thing and gonna implement it, or do they also need a lot of knowledge and they need to be total geeks to be successful at longevity?
The more educated patient is the more engaged patient. The more engaged patient has better chances for success, right? But longevity and everything related to medical science is fairly complex thing. And it is important to understand the general context of medical science, of a biological process in humans' body. Therefore, to address your question, I do believe that it's not about outsourcing, but the longevity journey for the best results should be guided by a professional who already has a formal education, should be guided by a professional who understands the biological and medical process related to health span extension, and should be guided by a professional that knows the person that stands in front of him, not as a list of diagnoses, but as a whole person with the relevant medical history. And here, I do believe, first of all, it's great that many people, and this typical theoretical billionaire you're speaking about, are willing to take this forward, are willing to invest time and money in order to reduce their biological age. It is okay. Unfortunately, the reducing of your biological age, it's not on the top of the priorities list for the average American, for the average European, right? They have much more immediate task to fulfill. But
what would be these immediate tasks, like making money, or because are you saying like most of them, because it's my opinion that most people are in fight or flight or in total comfort, right? They're obese, they're not, they're watching TV or Netflix, and they're not moving. And some of these folks, on the other hand, they're struggling. They've got rent to pay. They're running left and right. They have kids, so they're not thinking long term. That is my opinion.
That's, yeah, correct. They are not thinking long term, and I believe that part of this, it's because they don't really understand how the process works or what does it require. You know, in many years, the healthcare system did tell us, you have a problem, take a pill. You have a problem, take a pill, and the problem will disappear. So this is the only investment or the only engagement needed from your side, which is obviously not the case with the longevities. Yeah. Today, if I want to become a lawyer, or you want to become a lawyer, or everybody else, we do understand that you need to invest time by going to the law school, by taking bar exams, by preparing for those bar exams, by doing some stage or so on, right? The same is with the longevity. If you want to stay healthy longer, you need to maintain the routine of those 6 pillars of the longevity medicine: sleep management, nutrition management, stress management, exercise management, and so on. But it is an effort that requires from you. You need to be engaged. And you need to have a clear understanding. How do you measure the success? And there is already out. You can measure the aging clocks of your body with some precision diagnostics. You can measure the, the level of blood in your sugar and the different other biomarkers related to longevity. And today it's relatively accessible because, all those precision diagnostic tests, their cost is going down as we move forward. Think about it, the DNA sequence was around, I don't know, $12,000 a couple of years ago, and today you can find partial tests for less than $100.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. So let's say that that this someone is struggling financially. What can they do to increase their longevity and their quality of life as much as possible? What would be your top 5, 10 things that they could do, and try to include in there some stuff that is not commonly known? For example, exercising yourself. Well, we all know that. So tell us about like the top 5 most common, best, but least commonly known longevity improvement activities that one can do.
I'm not sure I have the silver bullet, but let's start from the basics. And basics are nutrition. And by nutrition, I don't want to fall into those, very common known practices, eat less red meat or something of this type. When we are talking about nutrition, we are talking about the holistic picture, an ability to understand what works the best for your body, and an ability to have as much nutritionally efficient products and supplements that will work for you on the different systems in your body. There are supplements that can help you to boost your brain activity. There are supplements that can help you to reduce your feel of hunger and therefore to lose some of the weight. It's very important to consult with a dietitian or with a nutritionist that already understand those some of the longevity or health longevity practices, and to get from them a clear 3, 6, and 12 months plan for what to do, what not to do. But again, I always believe that it's fasting, and it's proven scientifically. It's one of the great tools for us to start or to restart our longevity journey. Access to vegetables and fruits. It's a great tip as well, but I am afraid I will not be able to provide some epiphany here. After the nutrition, never underestimate the importance of the quality sleep. Good sleep, it's equal to one of the best medical labs we can get in. A quality sleep of 7, 8 hours, depends on how much everybody needs, provides enormous advantage to people that are willing, to stay healthy longer. It's really like going in the lab or getting, the pill we were talking before, but you are able to do it every night for free. It is important to spend some time on the quality sleep. And
And how
Charles,
do you achieve that, the quality sleep? Because so many people have problems sleeping. What are your tips for that?
I guess my first tip, or the most important tip, would be understand the cause of the sleeping problems. Is it related to mental stress? Is it related to inappropriate conditions of the sleeping? Is it related to the time frame when people are going to sleep, or the time that they have to dedicate for the sleep? You have today many available digital gadgets like Oura rings, Fitbit bracelets, Apple Watch, and so on, so you can at least get an understanding of your quality of the quality of your sleep, and to get some recommendations. And I'm sure you, as somebody who doing those extreme sports and taking his body to the edge, would be able also to provide some of those tips and where to start looking for.
Yeah, 100% for sleep. Well, I think most people are just stressed. They come in the bed and they're still thinking, especially if it's not positive thoughts, because I like giving myself positive visualizations before I go to bed. But as soon as I start thinking about business and stressful stuff, I shut it down, so I turn it into a meditation, and I stop thinking about anything that could generate micro cortisol molecules in my brain that would affect my sleep. So that's pretty much my trick. And like most people need to think in terms of objective. Right now I have my computer open. My goal today, my main goal, that is, obviously we're doing this podcast, but it's making money, right? That's my goal. After supper, when I go into bed, my goal is restful sleep. That's what it is. That's my only goal. So I think a bunch of people forget that, myself included. Sometimes I get like in reading rabbit holes and I read way too much. But I think, people should understand that, yeah, your goal in your bed is to sleep. It's not to think, it's not anything else. It's to sleep, so that next day you can be top shape, you can be in good health, and yes, you can live very long. So yeah, these would be some of my tips. What about, so we covered nutrition, we covered sleep. What other not so commonly talked about tip for longevity would you have to top this list off for our listeners?
When it comes to an aging or older population, recent scientific researches show an enormous importance of social connections on different levels. Could be horizontal social connections, could be vertical like family social connections, but an ability to maintain active social life, it is an enormous positive factor for people to stay healthy longer together. Again, it's not a single game journey together with all the factors that we are speaking about, but social connections, they are definitely playing one of the most important roles. And those social connections could be in digital world, could be in a real physical world, but sometimes people a little bit underestimate their own importance for other people. And sometimes people don't feel like getting in touch with other people because they don't want to seem needy or to seem nudgy or whatever you want. And I think you should be able to, not to overcome, but I think you should be able to put those thoughts aside and to enjoy the social connections with other people, because other people will enjoy this connection with you as well. It's a win-win game.
100%. Yeah, like just chilling also, and we all have that needs as humans, even even billionaires, even introverted folks, we have a need to talk to other humans. That's how we grew up. And yeah, it's, people talk about therapy and so forth, but even before talking about therapy, I believe you should talk to friends at least once a week. And that for many people is their official therapy. They don't need to pay a therapist for that, although I do recommend therapy for most folks. But yeah, socializing is really important. I saw on your website like a glass of wine a day. Me personally, alcohol is like, yeah, it's no longer on my map. But yeah, there's resveratrol in wine, and also it's like alcohol breeds relaxation, especially if it's just one glass. And yeah, that can lead to deeper conversation. And that one it's always been some kind of challenge for me, as someone that, yes, I'm extroverted, but I'm also very much introverted and in my little world, always doing my things, and sometimes it's hard for me to explain stuff that I do to mortals, like explaining just what I do to people that, don't really know about business and so forth. And yeah, that should definitely be a priority of mine. For example, my wife, she's the complete opposite in that area. She's like very, very social, and she uses an app called Bumble to meet friends. And it's like Tinder, but you match with friends. So people that want to chill, like do an activity like friends, and yeah, that has been a cool little hack that I have for people. This app called Bumble to meet new people.
Definitely, and is think about it. People in the today's modern world that are relatively free moving across countries and continents, it is not that easy to maintain the social life. But as you fairly pointed out, there are digital assistants like the app you were mentioning, Bumble, you some other Facebook groups, whatever it is, where you can connect and you can restore or restart your social life in a new place. And it is different. It's definitely a good motivator also, to keep exercising, to put your life in some routine. There is no doubt that we have a continuous stress in our lives. Running a business, it's a stress. Raising kids, it's a stress. Having a family, financial situation. There could be some unexpected events like this huge tragedy right now in Turkey, in Syria, the earthquake, the stress is all around. But sometimes I want to say to myself, or I do say to myself, that even the worst day lasts only 24 hours. And we have a commitment to ourselves, to our beloveds, to our families, to our employees, to our partners. Despite the stress, we need to keep doing the things we are doing for the general good.
Yeah, I like that. And also, me, I have this weird fascination with executing in tough weather, you know. So when it's raining or when it's snowing, or there's a snowstorm in Canada, I'm the only one out running, you know, and crunching the miles. And I don't know, I have a weird fascination with that, of just executing and getting stuff done when it gets hard, you know, and just like finishing my day and being like, man, good job. Like that wasn't easy, but you did it, you know, like good job. It's like giving the dog a bone a little bit, but yeah, it's like the pod has been very good, Yaacov. It's already been 30 minutes, so need to run. And thank you so much for showing up today. You and I, we share a common future. So we'll do like nice stuff together. I have you on LinkedIn and everything. So very grateful that you came in today. You're probably gonna be invited for another time later on. Tell us a bit more. Where can people find out more information about longevity guide and yourself?
So thank you, Charles, for inviting me. It was great pleasure talking to you and exchanging some of the thoughts. People can go at healthylongevity.guide and to sign up for our platform. Again, we have a free tier and we have a paid tier for professionals. There are plenty of other sources and information about longevity all over the internet. I guess it's important to understand and to navigate what is false and what is true. And this is our commitment, that we always provide only the verified, unbiased, and objective information. Speak with your health practitioner, speak with your dietitian, speak with your health or wellness coach. Ask them about the longevity services. If they don't know where to start, point them to Health and Longevity Guide. As for myself, you can always find me on LinkedIn. It's Yaacov Ozer, O-Z-E-R. You can find me on Twitter as well, the same Yaacov Ozer. And I'm always open to new connections, to new discussions, and I'm always open to make new friends and colleagues.